Hey there, planners. Today I'm going to be setting up the last week of July in my one book for July, my B6 Stalogy. I cannot believe it's the last week of July already, and I'm wrapping up my mermaid theme, which I have absolutely loved. So go grab your planners and let's set up this last week. Alright, so this week's setup is going to be all about using it up, and I have got these wonderful bits and pieces of sticker kits and washies and just things I want to make sure I really use everything. I'm trying to use it all this week, so it might end up looking like a bit of a mishmash of stuff, but I don't want to waste any of these stickers. You know, I don't want to be a sticker hoarder, so I'm really going to try to use up all these last bits and pieces as much as I can and get the most out of my mermaid theme. I have absolutely loved this theme. I have loved using the one book for July, and I am definitely going to continue to use this B6 Stalogy. I love this. I have fallen in love with the size. I don't even know if I can say I'm an A5 girl anymore because I just, the grid, the size of the grid is really what does it for me. It's just a fantastic size. It's bigger than the A5, and I really like having that. And I'm finding the space to be really great. So make sure you are subscribed. I'm going to do a full flip through of everything in the month of July once I get this last week all completed and wrapped up and filled in. And so you can really see, you know, you've seen the before the pin as I'm doing the weekly setups, but you'll be able to see exactly how I use the spaces I set up. So I'm going to flip over, do some voiceover while I set up my first page, which is always my week at a glance, and then set up the daily pages and come back and do a flip through. As with each week, I am starting by setting up my days of the week in a weekly layout. And again, I will have the Pinterest board that I use for inspiration on all kinds of different layouts linked down below. I decided that I would use this week and actually go back to a format that I used at the beginning of One Book July in the first week of July. I really like this format. So it's basically 3 columns per page, and then that last box on the right-hand side is going to be divided into 2. So Saturday and Sunday are about half size, but I just really like this layout. I like having all the days of the week across the top, so I decided to come back to that this week. And this week for me is really going to be about wrapping up the month of July. We had a lot of vacation, we had a lot of time off, we had a lot of travel. Just kind of like full on summer in July. And as we get ready to head into August, it is going to be all about back to school. And I don't know, are you guys just feeling like this year is flying by? I cannot believe we're already talking about back to school. So it's wild, but that this week is going to be really kind of wrapping up summer, doing some last fun things, and then getting ready to transition into, you know, back to school and school supplies and, you know, open house and getting the house ready and cleaned and all of that stuff. So I do have one last trip planned for a quick little weekend getaway for us before we go full on back into school routine. But this week is going to be about starting that transition. And I'm using up all my supplies. So I'm even trimming the washi, trying to make it fit together and just really trying to use up everything. This folio is such a really cool item. I am so happy that it came in the Simply Gilded subscription box. It holds all of my stickers. It's a sticker folio. It's got those clear pouches that are perfect size for stickers, and I have packed it full of my most used stickers. As I'm going through, I've tried to list many of the supplies that I'm using down in the description box below, but if you see anything that you'd like to learn more about, like where are stickers from, or where did I get certain pens or markers, please leave that as a question in the comments down below, and I'm happy to tell you where things are, because I know I'm missing some of the items down in the description box. So I'm setting up my goals, and again, my goals are going to be focused on really getting back into routine and getting ready for back to school. I'm trying to use up all these stickers that I have left over and use them for my sections that I put in every week, which are my top 3 goals, my to-do list items that don't necessarily fall into a specific day, my morning routine tracker, which has been part of my monthly goals for the month of July, and I have not done really well on it. It was a bad month to try to implement a new morning routine habit, given that we had so much time off. I also have a weather tracker in every weekly setup. I have a meal plan in every weekly setup. And then I also have a list of to-dos for the Planning Annie YouTube channel. So those are kind of my standard weekly items. Really helps me get that week at a glance. I am going to be adding one additional section to this weekly setup down at the bottom, and that's for some back to school shopping. But then outside of that, that's my week at a glance, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to setting up the daily pages and come back with a final flip through of everything set up. All right, so my week is set up. I've plugged in some of the items coming up this week. I will definitely plug in weather as I get just a little bit closer because I'm still a few days out, and then put in the meal plan as I get that all planned out, and also the Planning Annie schedule. I've got a little space here because at the end of this week on Saturday I am going with my girls. We're having a big back to school shopping day, and so that's going to be a little place to capture any list type items as I'm thinking about them as they come to me leading up to Saturday. I just want a little place to be able to jot some notes there about things. Of course, we have the official supply list, but anything else I think of that's not on those lists, I want a safe place to capture it to be able to reference. I've got a place to capture any other to-dos that are not necessarily tied to a day of the week. And then I've got my top 3 for the week. And it's really all about getting ready for school because we are quickly approaching the first day of school for my daughters, and kind of that transition out of summer into back to school routine, which is so crazy that we're there already. So there's the week. I find this spread so helpful, and I think I'm going to continue to use it even after the month of July, especially since coming into the school year, there'll be so much more going on after school with my girls' activities, things like that. And then I went ahead and set up the days, and as I look over them, I really wanted to use all my mermaid supplies. So it's kind of a mishmash of mermaid leftovers, and I actually love the way it turned out. It's a little crazy, a little funky. Not everything goes exactly together, but I think it's fun. I think it's a fun theme for the week, and just kind of everything thrown in, all the mermaid colors thrown in there together, everything from the little jellyfish guy to some of the Simply Gilded sticker kit, which I was able to use everything as I set up this spread. And I'm really happy about that. I absolutely love the Simply Gilded subscription box, and I am really trying to use and not hoard stickers. So my daily setups are pretty much consistent every week, and that is a place for my scripture of the day, and I get that from my morning Bible study, which I have incorporated as part of my morning routine. I've got a place to dump to-dos, and then plenty of room for journaling, which is what I like to do. And sometimes I use this space just as journaling. Sometimes I use this space as brainstorming or as list making. How I use this space is really, there's a lot of freedom there, and that's what I love about having a planner that I set up myself, because I can give myself that space, because what I need from day to day really does change. And then here's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday combined. I always combine Saturday and Sunday on a single page because it just helps me to see that, and I like having an even number of pages for the week. But I do have a place for Bible verse for the weekend, and plenty of room for journaling and memory keeping as well. So that is the setup for this week. I cannot believe I'm in the last week of One Book July. I have just so enjoyed One Book July and really enjoyed
The size of the B6 Stalogy, I have really enjoyed the theme. I am going to miss Mermaid. This may be one of my favorite themes, and so many great supplies, stickers and washi and things like that. I have thoroughly enjoyed this, but I do have some good ideas for the month of August. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to see the setup for the month of August, because I do have some good ideas, and I have decided I'm going to be staying in the B6 Stalogy. Now I am going to bring back a few of my other planning elements because I miss them, but main day-to-day planning, everyday carry, I'm going to stick with this because I have just so thoroughly enjoyed it. So I would love to hear from you. How are you preparing for the transition into August? How are you weekly planning this week? If you've been joining me on the One Book July Challenge, how's it going? How are you feeling as we enter this last week? Has it been a success for you? Are there things you're going to change as soon as you can, as soon as this week is over? I would love to hear all of that down in the comments below, and leave any questions there about supplies or my setup, anything like that. Leave that down in the comments below and I'll be happy to respond. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to Planning Annie for more content like this, and as always, thanks for planning with me.